Did you know Diddy, the Grammy winner, the guy with all the businesses, is facing some like really serious accusations.
Yeah, it's wild, right? I mean, this
Yeah.
is a guy with a carefully crafted image.
And the crazy thing is we're not even talking like speculation here. There's this whole podcast in Spanish, Diddy bajo el microscopio, Diddy under the microscope. They're really going in on it.
Yeah, I listened to some of it, and it's something else.
So basically, they're saying Diddy's got this thing called freak-offs, and they weren't kidding about the off part. It sounds less like a party, more like just days of...
Yeah, and there are allegations of, substances and pressure to engage in certain
Right,
activities.
and it's not like a level playing field, right? You've got all these people, some of them apparently pretty young.
And Diddy's at the top of the industry.
Exactly. So you can see how some attendees might have felt pressured given his power.
It's a classic power imbalance, and unfortunately, we've seen this kind of thing before.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing just makes you wonder about the psychological impact, not just on the people making the accusations, but
On everyone involved, really.
on Diddy's fans even.
Exactly, because if even half of what they're alleging is true,
It really does make you question, like, how could this be the same guy who founded Bad Boy Records?
the same guy who helped launch Biggie's career.
And it's not just music. This is Sean John Combs Enterprises we're talking about.
Right, a whole empire built on this image of success and aspiration.
And that's where it gets really interesting, right? You have these accusations, and then you have this whole other side of Diddy, the entrepreneur, the guy on magazine covers.
It creates this weird dissonance.
Total dissonance.
Because on one hand, you have this image of success and philanthropy.
Right. And then on the other, you have these potential accusations of exploitation and abuse of power. And it's like,
Yeah, and it really makes you think about the responsibility that comes with that level of influence and power.
so how does this even happen? Like, from a purely business perspective, what kind of impact could these accusations have on everything Diddy's built?
Well, think about it this way. Diddy's brand is built on him, right? His name, his image, his reputation.
Right. So when that reputation is damaged, it creates a ripple effect.
So what you're saying is it's not just about the accusations themselves, it's about the potential fallout.
Exactly. And that fallout can be significant, particularly for someone in Diddy's position. For example, let's talk about his brand partnerships for a second.
Okay, so like those big endorsement deals.
Exactly. Those are often contingent on maintaining a certain image, a certain level of public approval.
Which is obviously going to be tough with this cloud hanging over him.
And companies are very risk-averse when it comes to these things.
So they might just cut ties to protect themselves.
It's a common PR move, unfortunately.
Wow. So even if it turns out that
Yeah, even if you never charged or anything, the damage might already be done.
it's bigger than just like those big contracts though, right?
Eh.
I mean, doesn't this whole thing with his reputation like trickle down to everything?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Wow.
how many people do you think are lining up to buy Sean John after this hits the news?
Yeah, that's a good point. And it goes beyond that too. Any new ventures, any investments, they all rely on Diddy's name carrying weight. And right now,
Yeah, his name is Mud right now.
so it's like this domino effect, right?
Yeah.
One thing impacts the next.
Definitely high stakes.
And speaking of timing, think about this for a second. The podcast mentions allegations going all the way back to like 2008,
Wow, that's 15 years ago. Why now?
right? Makes you wonder what took so long.
Seriously. And what does that say about the industry itself, that it took this long for any of this to come out?
I think you have to look at the bigger picture here, right? We're in a different world now, post hashtag Me Too.
You think that's what's emboldening people to come forward?
I think it's a factor. For sure, people are more likely to speak out against powerful figures.
Yeah, it's true. And it's not just Hollywood, right? We're seeing this in all kinds of industries.
Absolutely. It's like a societal shift in how we view power and how we respond to its abuse.
And this lawyer they mentioned, Tony Busby, he's representing like over 100 accusers.
That's a staggering number.
It's huge, and it just shows you the scope of this thing.
It really does make you question what's been going on behind closed doors.
For sure. So how's the industry actually reacting to all of this?
It's a mixed bag, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, some people are staying totally silent, the whole wait-and-see approach.
Makes sense, I guess.
And then you have others who are coming right out and defending him.
Wow, so it's pretty divided then.
Totally. I mean, you've got these long-standing relationships, these power dynamics at play.
It's like everyone's watching, right? Waiting to see what happens next.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not every day something like this comes out, especially with someone like Diddy.
So you've got these accusations, you've got this potential for like a whole reckoning, and then on top of it, all these reactions from inside the industry. And it's like, are we going to see any real change?
That's the question, isn't it? I mean, this could be a real turning point.
Because you're right. It's not just about Diddy. It's about the whole system.
Exactly. Will the industry actually look at itself in the mirror and say, okay, enough is enough?
Because there are a lot of people who've been wanting this for a long time, right? A real shift away from this code of silence.
It's way overdue, if you ask me.
So is this it? Is this the thing that finally changes things, or do you think it'll just go back to the way it was before?
I honestly don't know, but I hope not.
Me too. It makes you wonder, like, beyond all the legal stuff, what does this mean for Diddy himself? Can you be that famous, that powerful, and not know what's going on? Or is this more like a case of ignoring it for so long that it finally caught up with him?
That's a tough one. It makes you think about the responsibility that comes with any kind of power, you know?
Yeah, because ultimately it's about respect, right?
Yeah.
Respecting boundaries, respecting consent, understanding that your actions have consequences.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So to wrap things up, we've gone pretty deep on these accusations against Diddy, the possible impact on his career, and what it all means for the industry as a whole.
Yeah, we talked about some pretty big ideas too. Power accountability, creating a culture of respect.
And the importance of speaking up even when it's hard.
Exactly, because this isn't just a story about Diddy. This is a story that's still unfolding.
For sure. And we want to keep hearing from you. What do you think about all of this? Head over to our socials and let us know.
We'll be watching.
Until next time, keep asking those tough questions, and we'll be here to dive into them with you.